We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hello. How's everybody doing out there? Little YDBT Daily. Today we're going to have a data-heavy show. I was inspired today by data. See, I'm one of those weird guys that maybe I'm not the best tuner on the planet, but data needs to make sense to me. Maybe you've dealt with me in the tuning queue and you've seen me say some things like, check your shit's fucked up, it doesn't make sense. I go over the data makes sense on my end, but it doesn't make sense on your end, so we have an anomaly here. And when it comes to the EPA enforcing carbon polluters specifically, the data does not make any sense to me. So today I'm going to talk about and lay out the case as to the ridiculous enforcement that they're currently doing with when it comes to specifically tuners. I think what they're doing is mostly for show. It's a dog and pony show. I think it's mostly to get eyes on something that's very public. They're going after a very tiny percentage of what actually is responsible for emitting the total carbon output per year in the world, not in the United States. So I have a lot of database points that I want to make today, and I think hopefully you guys will find this entertaining. You'll find it hypocritical, and this is all in an effort to get attention on this stuff, because nobody is giving me any data. Nobody's giving me anything. SEMA's out there trying to push their bullshit. PRI sucks dick. SEMA sucks dick. EPA sucks dick. No offense, EPA. The one in the chat. And it needs to make sense to me. So today I'm going to lay out the case as to the hypocritical nature of the EPA's enforcement when it comes to what used to be global warming, now is called climate change. We'll talk about it, have a good time. Hopefully you guys will enjoy what I'm going after. Before we do anything and before we get too into it, as always, I'd like to make sure that the sponsors get mentioned. I have not sent any invoices, but we'll see how generous I feel. We got PMAS, Nick James and PMAS up in Michigan. I don't know, freezing. No, it's like 60 degrees up there. It's weird. What do you climate change. You can't say global warming anymore. 2 Auto Solutions, Rami's around 2 Auto Solutions. Rami, we figured out why the car is acting up. Spark plugs aren't right. I got with another guy and he gave me some good advice, so you guys will get video on that. The Parts Farm, partsfarm.com. I need pedals. I gotta hit them up. I actually have to hit them up. If you go to partsfarm.com, they got a bunch of cranking pallets, a bunch of stuff they're getting out there. So go to partsfarm.com. YDBT at checkout, get you a little bit of discount. Oh my God, cookies. Melissa is working out, so that means Lake is making the cookies. So smell his cologne in the batter. Absolutely love it. And we got Calimer, Ben Calimer Transmission. He's actually getting the program for the 3160 stuff cracking. By the way, did you hear that Ford finally acknowledged that the MT82s are trash and they issued a TSB? That's right. They issued a TSB for the D4 MT82 1, 2, and 3, 4 shift fork. Unreal. Okay, let's get to it. We got Fresh Pasteles. We got Fresh Pastelazo. Jason Mendoza's Coyote. Anthony Token 650. Very good. Harley Taquache Mo, TD Carter, DNG Brandon, Paul Pontheu, Harley Taquache Mo, Dunn 523, Cluster BM, EPA's in the house. NA10R80 King Daddy. Heath S2R, EPA'd a couple times. The Wolf, Monty Rogers, Diego A, Rami Zaidan, Craig Walls, SK Jeff, Paul again, Jacob Brandenberry, Hyperling, More Pews, More Boost, Pito, Chiquito, Gallo Bravo, Gregory Utvich, TJ Sikorsky, Melissa, Pretty Lady with the Cookies, Infamous S550, Large Macchiato, The Razor, Paul Pontheu again, Ashton, Diego A, I Smell Butthurt, Hyperling again, Yusuf, Douche Did It, TN S197, Whippled 50, Great Escape, NA10R80, King Daddy, Nick Rogers gave me $20. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed your birthday. Here's money. Thank you. I didn't do shit for my birthday. I'm one of those guys that if you guys want me to celebrate my birthday, you almost have to like kidnap me and take me somewhere. I'm not going to go out of my way and celebrate my own birthday because I'm a grown-ass man. Nick Rogers, Darren Harper, Token again, Randy Savage. Oh, yeah, Randy Savage, that green. Lex Luthor, Douglas Gonzalez, the resident, what is it? Portuguese. Jason, twice. Okay, let's get after because I think you guys are going to enjoy this. So, I did just some Google searching today. This is 100% non-scientific, 100% off-the-cuff type stuff. So, how many cruise ships would you say there are in the world? And when I say cruise ships, I'm saying Carnival, Royal Caribbean, alike. How many commercial aircraft are in the world? Not little planes like something that Brandon Sr. and Dakota have, but I'm saying commercial aircraft like Spirit, American, Lufthansa, Emirates, in the world. Okay? And then how many cars are there in the world and the United States? And that's where we're going with this. So let's look at some data based on simple Google searches. And then I think you guys will kind of see where I'm going with this. So I Googled how many cruise ships are there in the world 2022 on Google. Simple little search. According to this says there are 323 cruise ships in the world, which sounds about right because cruise ships are massive floating cities. So 323 cruise ships, 23 fewer than pre-COVID. Now, let's look at another Google search. How much carbon do cruise ships emit? And this is per year. And if you go down here, right here, it says 300 because 323 ships, they emit just over 1 billion tons of CO2 annually. So 323 ships emit just over 1 billion. That's a nice number. 323, 1 billion. And then I said, you know what? Let's look up planes. So how many planes are there in the United States? Just the United States. There's 204,405 aircraft. But I wanted to be more specific. How many planes are in the world 2022 commercial? So that is 25,578. So then, of course, I did another Google search. How much carbons do planes emit? Now, this did not give me a commercial versus, something that's private, something that I could own or anyone else could own. But isn't that some shit? It also stated, based on a Google search, that planes emit 1 billion tons of CO2 per year. Where would they see that before? Oh yeah, just over 1 billion, 323 cruise ships emit 1 billion, and about 250,000, let's say 204, hell, let's do it together. Let's do 204 plus 25,000. That's 229,000. So let's say 230,000 planes emit 1 billion tons of CO2 per year. Okay, so we got some numbers. How many cars are there in the United States on the road? 289 million vehicles in the United States. Again, EPA functions in the United States, not the world. How many cars are on the road in the world? According to this, there are 1.4 billion cars in the world. So in the United States, you have, oh my God, not even like 20% or 18% or something along those lines. So the amount of vehicles in the United States equals to about 18% of the rest of the world, or 20%, depending on if you know math or not. So then I asked, of course, another question. How much do they emit? Now, that's where I screwed up. How much carbon do cars emit? And I think it said 1.018 million, basically 1 billion metric tons. But that is in the United States. That is 289,000 cars. So 289,000 cars emit 1 billion, 1.18 million, 1.018. 229,000 planes emit 1 billion. 323 cruise ships emit 1 billion. Okay, so now we have a nice little metric going there. So let me ask you guys a question. How many of the 289 million cars in the United States that are responsible for 1 billion tons of CO2 in the air are performance vehicles that are tuned? Would you say less than 1%? Would you say, I think it's less than 100,000 cars. I think it's less than 100,000. Hell, let's be insanely generous and let's say it's 10%, right? 280. No, my math is way off. But let's say in percentage points, I'd say it's less than 5% of the vehicles in the United States are tuned and on the road and also drive less than 5,000 miles a year. A lot of you guys say 1%, no more than 1%. And I agree. I agree that not more than 1% are responsible for or tuned vehicles or vehicles that have been modified. Now, let's say how many of those 1% are tuned by Lund Racing. Do you see what I'm getting at? 300 ships in the world emit the same as 289 million cars in the US, and 1% of them are probably tuned or modified. And that's the one that the EPA is going after the most. Not the airlines, not the cruise lines. By the way, last time I checked, you can't drive to Antarctica, but you sure as fuck can take a cruise there, or close to it. I guarantee there's not many fucking cars near Antarctica. But a lot of the EPA, what they're doing is they want the optics to look good. Look at us. We're going after diesel polluters. Really? So let's look at it percentage points. 300 ships, 1 billion. 230,000 planes, 1 billion. 289,000 cars, 1 billion. How many of those are actually in the performance and racing industry? Less than 0.5%. So why? Okay, so what's going to happen? Because look, it was global cooling, global warming, now it's climate change. They keep change. I guarantee it's going to come full circle and go back to global cooling. So let's say hypothetically, because we love dealing in hypotheticals on this chat. Let's say the EPA succeeds and brings the emissions down to nothing. Electric cars rule the roost. Fusion somehow took over and is able to power all the Tesla superchargers. Everything is great. And then a motherfucking volcano says, hey, I'm about to bust. Wait. Where's the volcano? Hold on. I think I saw... Here's the volcano. Yep, that's right. There it is. There's the volcano jizzing all over the fucking US. And there goes all the bullshit you did, everything you tried to do, all the industry you killed, all the people you put in fucking jail, all the money, all the carbon credits means fuck all. It means nothing. It doesn't even mean one motherfucker.
Not one motherfucker.
Nothing matters if a volcano decides to bust a bust. So why don't you fucking go in there and preemptively raid a volcano, dickhead? Oh, that sounds really stupid, doesn't it? Just as stupid as it sounds as if you raid a industry that is responsible for less than 0.5% of total vehicles in the US. You stupid motherfuckers. If you totally take performance and racing away, it will make no fucking difference if cruise ships are still doing their thing, if planes are still doing you know what they do? You know the fuzzy math that people do? They go, well, one plane can carry 147, 150, 200 souls. So, footprint per person. Shh. Let's talk about vehicles. Planes versus cars versus cruise ships. Cruise ships are the dirtiest by far. Cruise ships, 300 of them in the world, emit as much as 289 million cars and 230,000 airplanes. And you're going after Lund Racing? You're going after people that are street racing like Mr. Kevin Van Voris. You're going after PFI Speed, a guy who wants to just pass it on to his kids. What a fucking shit show. What a fucking shit show we live in, where the people are out there saying, well, we're doing this to save Gaia. And at the end of the day, all you're doing is squashing small business. And the funny thing is, let's say we were massive. Let's say this industry was a juggernaut like oil, like aviation, like transportation. By the way, I didn't count container ships. I didn't count anything else. I didn't count now anything else except cruise ships. But they're going after people like Lund Racing, PFI Speed, and others and raiding them with guns. Really? That's what you're doing? Unreal. So we'll talk about the absolute hypocrisy of them totally shutting their eyes when it comes to the cruise line industry, the airplane, all that stuff. Just no. Let's go after less than 0.5% of total cars in the US, which globally, they probably aren't even responsible for. I don't even think they have 1 million metric tons if you were to measure it properly. I'm saying track racing on. And why is it okay if they do it off-road? Why is it okay to do it off-road? Let's say the off-road vehicles comprise, let's say it becomes insanely huge and it blows up. And now there's 20 million vehicles that are off-road and they're racing. Are they going to look the other way? Or are they going to say, we'll allow you to run as long as you pay a carbon tax? So let me ask you, when Earth sees you charging a tax from a business, they go, oh, I'm good. I'm not that hot no more. It's all good. Oh, I appreciate you charging a carbon tax. Now I will not heat up the fucking planet and, melt the ice caps. Shut the fuck up. God damn it. There's so many stupid, and you know what? There are people out there that will argue pro EPA because we're not talking about industry like manufacturing, refining. I left those completely out because those take up the most in terms of a pie chart. Industrial stuff absolutely destroys aviation and transportation. So I didn't even include them. But I wanted to make an example of the fact that the cruise line industry has 300 ships and it emits as much as 200,000 planes and 289 million cars. Just for scale. So we'll talk about it. Let me know what you guys think about that shit. What should happen? Should we pay a carbon tax and that'll make Gaia happy? Will Earth like the fact that you're charging people to pollute her? That doesn't make any sense. Sounds like Earth is a whore. That's NA, guys, when he bumps in and takes off with his own ear. Jealous greetings from Frosty Helsinki. Here in Finland, cow farts, poop, and mostly burps emit more than our private passenger car traffic. How many flights and cruises to Epstein Island? Or an asteroid hits? Right. Like, we could do anything. Look, we could literally sit here and tax Lund Racing and PFI Speed to death. And then a solar flare goes, and there goes Earth. A solar flare can just, here you go. I'm just going to fart a solar flare out. And cooks the first 3 planets. And everything you did to save Gaia is down the fucking drain. Catalytic converters for the volcanoes, exactly. If the sun yawns, we done, exactly, Oliver Bryan. 3 ships will impact more than every race car in the U.S. Alex going to end up blindfolded and gagged the back of a black van with EPA plates. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if someone wants to shut me up, but I have found my wheelhouse. I have found what I'm good at, and is making fun of the hypocrisy and the math that the EPA does makes no fucking sense. So there's a theory that a plane only uses jet fuel for startup and takeoff. Once in the air, it only uses oxygen for fuel. If you think about it, how does thousands plus gallons of fuel fit inside the wing? Like, I don't understand how. Okay, so if that's the case, so you're saying on startup, on takeoff, and once it's up in the air, the engines spin and you don't hear it throttle up? You don't hear, have you ever been in an airplane and you hear that motherfucker throttle up? You think that's just free air coming in? Nah, stop it. Does Mount St. Helens have a DPF? A lot of clowns in the EPA. Good evening, folks. The carbon tax is like air conditioning for Mother Nature. Should be able to fight it in court easily because it's extortion. The problem is, Ashton, it won't get there. See, a lot of judges are in the pocket of certain people in government. And if government has a weak case, they'll just string you along for years and years and years. They'll just do it until the point that you drop it because you're out of money. Because the government is using your money to fight you. That's right. The government is keeping lawyers on retainer using taxpayer money to fight you. Yes, taxpayer money to fight you trying to operate a small business somewhere. I was blown away by that. I thought to myself, wait a minute, wait, come on. Alex, you're not that smart. You're Puerto Rican. So there's no way you could know things. Let me look it up. Oh, 300 ships emit 1 billion. 230,000 airplanes emit 1 billion. 289 million emit 1 billion. There's 1.4 million cars in the earth. That does not make any fucking sense. Like, it literally doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I'm a simple man. I'm a blue collar guy. I'm dumb. I don't know nothing. But if all of them emit 1 billion and one out of the three has only 300 vessels emitting the same as millions of others, that's the industry you got to go after. People know the sun will eventually burn up the earth and swallow it. Modified by Nick says you can park a Trackhawk under the pistons that are in a cruise ship. Why a Trackhawk? Why would that be a reference? Thank you. Someone says member for 10 months and they retracted the message. What's it say here? Does it say? No, it doesn't say. Listen to Joe Rogan episode with Siddharth. This guy went into the Congo to see the working conditions of cobalt mining. Kids working in toxic conditions for $1 a day. Yeah, okay, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm not a proponent of electric cars in terms of the build process. Eventually, the materials will become less and less exotic. You'll have salt-based stuff. You'll have weird battery stuff. I get it. Shit sucks. Let me ask you a question. Do you have an iPhone or a smartphone in your pocket? The battery is made out of the same material. So don't blame electric cars for battery woes. This motherfucker that you trade in once a year, that's right, you get the iPhone 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm an Android guy. These have lithium batteries. It has cobalt in it. So don't try to make people that are proponents of electric cars feel bad when you got one of these in your pocket because you look that stupid. No offense. I'm not saying you specifically, Walter. I'm just saying anything that has a battery, lithium, is probably being mined by some miner somewhere. Young child. Just a memoir gave me the turvy emoji. Monty Raj says there's already a hole in the ozone above Arkansas, so we good. No tax here. Santa Gotta Go Fest says don't forget to like the video. Guys, again, like the video. If you want this thing to grow and you want this thing... Look, we know how the video algorithm works. And in order to break the algorithm is by shoving likes down YouTube's throat. YouTube just works off an AI. And the AI goes, well, Alex is on again. This many people are going to like it. So we'll give it this much amplification or take away amplification. If you break that by just shoving likes down his throat, it's going to break the AI and go, oh, it got 100% like to watch ratio. We might have to amplify or remove the de-amplification tag from it. Chris Romero says, Alex, not discrediting your argument, but there's only one major cruise ship that's registered in the U.S. The rest are registered to foreign countries to skirt regulations. Yes, Royal Caribbean is the only one based in the U.S. But I'm making a point because the EPA wants to regulate emissions in the United States while cars, planes, and everything else are a global thing. EPA thinks that they're going to affect the world like a lot if they regulate the shit out of stuff here. Meanwhile, China, Indonesia, India, all these other places that are up and coming emerging societies that are getting out of the dark ages and actually starting to become less poor by providing raw materials, and they're starting to get cars and planes and this and this and that, and a lot of shipping is being moved that way. EPA is going to find out. So let's just say, how many ships are in Royal Caribbean, right? So if you were to take the amount of cruise ships that are in the world, operated in the world, and the ones owned in the United States, let's just say it's half. Let's just say it's half. So that means 500 million tons in the air. How are we in the performance and racing industry even close to, let's just say, half or a quarter or hell, 100 ships that cruise the earth emitting carbon all over the place. It just doesn't make any sense. And they're going after us because of optics. It's the easy one to get. Look, it's easy to see a Dodge Cummins truck or Ram truck rolling coal and going, we need to stop that, right? You see a Duramax, Dirty Max. You see guys rolling coal and you go, oh, we have to stop that. That's emitting, carbon into the air and make it okay. And then when you see a ship leave port, you wave at it. Oh, look at that. Look at how pretty it is. Meanwhile, all you have to do is look up and see it's rolling coal all the way out of port. I think I took a picture of cruise ship emissions. Yeah, and you click on images. And all you have to do is look at what these things look like going through some beautiful mountains and just spewing shit all over the fucking place, right? And you don't say anything about that, right? Because it's out of sight, out of mind, right? Out of sight, out of mind. If a ship is out in the middle of nowhere, just puking its guts out somewhere, you don't care, you don't see it, it doesn't matter. But you see a Ram somewhere rolling coal, that's an easy target. It's a super easy target as opposed to this nasty piece of shit going in and out of beautiful ports, just destroying shit all over the place. And again, you wave at it. Oh, look at that ship. Wow, it's so impressive. Oh, look at that Ram. Fuck that yee motherfucker. It's optics, 100%. You're not that guy, pal. How much do you think they're going to tax people on $600 over sales? The modified car stuff is just an easy target. They can't go against planes and ships because they're not capable of being fully electric and can bring in so much money. O2 is a tax scheme. Says, same way the children's Tylenol is virtually unavailable nationwide. Komatsu D355A looking like a nice daily driver for my kids. You damn fucking Skippy. Solid state battery tech, correct. That is, in my opinion, 10 to 15 years away. And then what's going to happen in those mines? It's going to be bad. Let's say, for instance, an emerging technology comes around and takes the cobalt mining away. Well, what do you think happens to those kids? Again, I am not a proponent of child labor. That's crazy. But let me ask you a question. The people mining in those very poor countries earn some money. Take that away. What happens? I get it. It's a shitty situation. It's an awful situation. But you take away the ability for people in third world countries to earn $1 a day. Now they have nothing. They have less than nothing if the mining goes away. So what do? What do? You just donate to the cause and get them out of poverty. What do? I don't know the answer. I'm just opening your eyes as to the reality of what could happen. Tuners kill batteries, lots of key on, key off. You're not wrong. That actually strengthens his argument. Yesterday's air isn't today's air. It circulates EPA. The documentary Tread is about the killdozer. Was really interesting to watch, guys. Tread is. Look, I get not emotional, but I get this feeling in my stomach from the documentary Tread. The guy lost his shit because pieces of shit people in small government fucked with him. And all he wanted to do was be left the fuck alone. Like, I wonder if there's a lot of guys out there that made it in life. And then they had, let's say, $1 million or $2 million saved up, maybe in property or maybe in liquid assets, right? And then they retired at 50 or 55. And they're like, man, I could live off of $45,000 to $50,000 a year tax-free for the rest of my life if I play my cards right. And then they did that, right? And then their house is paid off, their car is paid off, they got a nice little lake house or something, and they're just chilling. And then someone comes in and fucks with them. There isn't a case where some people are left alone. Either someone wants to come in and buy your land, like in Yellowstone, or somebody wants to have a Karen wants to complain about the property line. You're generally not left alone anywhere. And this guy was not left alone. Towns wanted to put in a concrete mixing plant. They had to run sewer. He had a chance to do it, but he's going, why do I have to do anything? Just leave me the fuck alone. And because of local political power, he was getting fucked with. I get it, the easy way out. That's why I'm telling Whistle and Diesel, bro, just pay. Do the video. I understand. Are you willing to lose it all at a very young age to fight some Tennessee assholes that don't make a third? They don't make an eighth of what you make. Bro, be above them motherfuckers. Pay them off, say, here, fuck you. I'm going to do dumb shit on the jet ski every fucking time. Ram unveiled the electric truck. Meanwhile, Ford is making remote revs. Oh my God. You're not kidding. Royal Caribbean has a new insane ship coming out. I want to go. I'm an EV owner myself. Just saying that EPA's work is pointless compared to the other atrocities worldwide. I get that 100%. Rolling coals of waste of fuel and doesn't make power. The former diesel mechanic has spoken. Damn it, says James Williams. How's it going, fellas? Says Joker's Performers. What's up, Jokers? Right, James. And fuel ends up in the crankcase as a result. Don't worry, Alex. We're getting a drift stick. Right. And I'm blown away that people don't see the bigger picture. Like, there are people out there that look at the Mustang coming up 2023 and go, oh, thank God one of them is left. Actually, Corvette is still V8 and, rear / all-wheel drive. So it's not the last. Corvette is still making cars. But the Mustang is the last affordable $60,000 GT, front engine, rear wheel drive car. I get it. But it's almost like giving up. It's almost like waving the white flag. In my opinion, the latest and greatest stuff, if it's not able to be tuned, it doesn't matter. Now, I have pictures of the ZR1 twin turbo manifolds. I can't show you. There's an embargo. I can't show you, but I got them. I got even more pictures yesterday because the guy's like, yo, I heard you talking. Check this out. I'm like, God damn it. Now, I understand if you buy a ZR1, C8 ZR1, and that bitch makes 900 to, it's got to make 1,000. Hey, Chevy, it's got to make 1,000. If the Hellcat can make 800, 900, or the Demon, the ZR1 better make 1,000 on like different modes. I'm sure that you can throttle it back based on boost, but based on the size, shape, and design of those manifolds, it better be behind a 6-liter V8 and it better make 1,000. I don't care if they get rid of rolling coal burnout retards, but those cucks are ruining it for us. I have to agree. Just wanted to give thanks to you, Alex, for your thoughts on some car problems I had a few weeks ago. I'm getting tuned with Brandon now and back with Lund. Awesome. Look, you're going to see SCT and something like that start promoting that they got 2023 tuning on board. I believe that the 2023 and up tuning that people like SCT and stuff are able to do is like basic Ford stuff, meaning Ford gives you the okay. I don't think you can have a centrifugal on a 2023 and tune it properly. I don't think you can have full access to the 10R80, or I could be wrong. But people that are out there promoting that the 2023 is tunable, I go, yeah, no, I don't think so. Maybe it's a Ford checkmark, like they do like a ProCal tune and they license, that's it. That's the word I was looking for. License it to dealers like an SCT and stuff like that. But I don't think it's fully tunable. The kids will probably be sold somewhere else like Apple factories. Now I have 3 kids under 10. They need to get to work. Motherfuckers are expensive. Hey, Matt2011, thank you for the wheel spacers. Appreciate that very much. $50 for the wheel spacers. Hi, Sarah McLaughlin. To do a commercial for $1 a day, you can support these former cobalt miners. It's all about money. If they came after anyone else above them, or that makes a large amount of money, they'd have no shot. I agree, Jason. It's the low-hanging fruit. And when you think about the low-hanging fruit, it's easy. If you go up to a tree and you see low-hanging fruit, you can pick it really easy and have your way with that. But it's difficult to get up there and grab the higher stuff. And that is a very good example of what the airline and cruise ship industries and industries in general, but the EPA has gone after industrial. They've gone after farming, bro. They've gone after farming. Like, the EPA, in my opinion, should be motherfucking gutted like an eighth. But the problem is, and you're seeing it right now happen in the House of Representatives. Sorry to get political. They don't want to let this rhino-ass bitch McCarthy in because it'd be the same fucking shit. That guy voted for the Ukraine fund. That guy wears Ukraine lapels. Ukraine. Fuck you, dickhead. U.S. shit. But no, that motherfucker's like, oh, we got to support Ukraine. Sure, I support Ukraine. Let them win the fight or lose the fight on their own. 40 something, like billions of dollars over there. Bro, how about us? What the fuck you doing with that? Why are you printing up our money and giving it to them motherfuckers? Fuck you. Can we have poor mining children eat the EPA? Okay, Alex, I got to get my uniform ready for tomorrow. Have a great night, says Hyperlink. Kind of late, but did you see that Cleater got another F-150? Yes. So Cletus got a single turbo, 4-wheel drive, F-150, and I think we're tuning it. Jason says, why do you torture me? Damn, I bet the phrase back with Lund is said a lot. Yeah. For spacers to go on top of the spacers. Gotcha. It's a basic 93 tune. Bitch level. Noah, thank you. Look, again, guys, I'm going to thank anyone that becomes a member because that helps the most. A 60,000 sub channel can make, listen to this. I found this out recently. Let's say you have a 4 million or 2 million sub channel. Let's be honest. The real ones are probably 5% of that. And I have a 60,000 sub channel and I think about 2,000 members. The real ones make it happen on this channel. And not a lot of those other channels have a members situation going. And that really helps out this channel. And the live streams and the information and the entertainment that I give you is unparalleled in the automotive racing community. I talk to you like a real motherfucker. I'm not going to come at you with some bullshit show that's going to bore you to death talking about fucking pro mods. No offense to them. It's just not what the fuck I want to talk about. Gotta run. I'll catch a replay. Thank you. SCT tuning 2023 has got to be like a canned Whipple tune. Exactly. A few more degrees and maybe some minor things. That's another name for slow NA guys. Low hanging fruits. Dang, almost forgot about the show. What else besides the cams do I have to change on a Gen 2 truck motor? Picked one up for $700 last weekend. Bro, what's wrong with that? Modified by Nick. A $700 Gen 1 motor? If it's a Gen 2 truck motor, honestly, why do you have to change the cams? Why don't you just run the Gen 2 truck motor and change the firing order and have power by the hour harness be able to accommodate? Unless you're going to be one of those guys that's going to do it yourself, then you got to modify the harness for the firing order, and we can send a tune for the proper stuff. But you don't have to change the cams on a Gen 2 truck motor if you want to use it on a Mustang, the whole motor. Unless you're using it in a Gen 1, modified by Nick. There's a lot of missing information there, and I wish I can give you a very complete, detailed answer, but the question is very open-ended. 94 GT Vert says, there's no authorization for the EPA and other agencies in the Constitution, but it doesn't matter. Like, what happens if you don't comply? And where the fuck did you motherfuckers get guns? How is the Environmental Protection Agency, why do you need guns? Again, why do you need guns? If you can send a letter and say, hey, we think you're doing weird shit based on no data, and we're going to potentially levy some fines. No, they go in guns out. For what? You're a regulatory agency. And now with the omnibus bill, good job voting Democrat. Oh, and McCarthy's a piece of shit, so you saw that. He let that shit go through the House of Representatives too. Any motherfucker that voted for the omnibus bill on the Republican side should get voted out. Just like Cletus should make it a very clear point that anyone that voted for the expansion of the shit that's happening near his track should get voted out. But you know what's going to happen? We all know what's going to happen. Nostradamus is going to speak again. Cletus has to build another track somewhere else. Again, Cletus has to build another track somewhere else. The housing is coming. Nothing you can do can stop it. Same thing with the EPA. Nothing. Now they've been emboldened. Now they've been shored up. Now they've been giving a lot more money. Your money is making your favorite tuners and cars and hobbies become extinct based on some theology. Because let's be honest, it is 100% a religion. Let's talk about that. Used to be global cooling in the 70s and 80s. I remember as a kid in some of the schools, they talked about the next coming ice age. Then it became global warming. Al Gore said the planet had a fever and that sea levels were going to rise in 20 years unless we stopped all carbon emissions now. 30 years later, not one motherfucking foot.
Not one motherfucker.
Not one motherfucker.
Not one single investment prospectus written since 2000 this century has alluded to global warming. Not one motherfucker.
Nothing has happened since I was a little kid and they were scaring you. Al Gore, the planet has a fever. Have you seen his houses? Do you know how stupid you gotta be to believe that religion? Look at Olstein. Tell me where he lives. He pushes that religious bullshit. And he's rich as fuck. Why is it the people that are spouting the bullshit richer than anybody else that's following the bullshit? So the problem is people that will tell you that global warming or climate change because it went from cooling to global warming to climate change. Yeah, no shit. Climate change every fucking day. Man-made climate change. It's a religion. In my opinion, it's 100% a religion. Just like the jab. 100%, in my opinion, a religion. So what happens? If you go against the religion, people will say it's settled science. And I go, wait a minute. The term settled science is an oxymoron. Because if you're a true scientist, you should be open to scrutiny and you should have to prove your theory over and over and over. Newton had the gravity figured out until Einstein came along and threw a wrench into the whole situation. So there is no such thing as settled science. Remember back in the day, motherfuckers were being bled out? Yo, you got shot in the head? Let me bleed you out so we can clear the way. Oh no, it's clotting? No, that's bad. Let me just keep shoving my finger in Abraham Lincoln's head until it bleeds out. Oh shit, he's dead. Pikachu face. Till you found out, oh no, you gotta put pressure on that motherfucker. Same thing with this religion. You're gonna see that the planet has ebbs and flows and nothing we do will adversely affect it. But the people that have the absolute belief that we are causing the issue will argue till you're blue in the fucking face. So they're blue in the face. That you're wrong, that you're stupid, that you're not educated, that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you don't have the data. Well, neither do you. Because there's no such thing as settled science. And EPA is operating off of a religion. It is a religion. It is not settled science. There is no general consensus that is 100% provable. It is 100% theory. So what do you call people that enforce a religion? Unreal. They use PFI's fine money for the blicks. Some reasons the IRS does same reason the IRS because we are gang. They got their guns from the Pookie. You see that SET is now offering offering two versions of the X4, one California legal, the other one for the other states. Wonder what the Cali one allows you to do. Nothing. It's just a dead rat that costs the same money. I don't know what the fuck. That doesn't make any sense to me. They got it from Hellcat owners. They see going in a Fox body with T56, likely getting a control pack. Heard Mustang's cams are an upgrade, not in Gen 2. Last bad rings in it, so it's getting rebuilt. No, keep the stock F-150 cams if it's Gen 2. There's nothing he can do but build somewhere else. Thank you, SVT Dan, for the money. The smart are outnumbered by the not so smart. Al Gore's the biggest cuck power bottom out there. It's all snake oil, 100% snake oil. Sorry I'm late. Could see through all the clean air. There's no such thing as settled science. Exactly. There's no such thing as settled science. So you're going to sit there and tell me that everything is a theory except global warming. Now, people would say, Alex, you know what the fuck you're talking about. You're stupid. You're dumb. I am simply pointing out, and I want you to guys to do some critical thinking. If any scientist ever tells you that global warming is settled science, we'll point to him as to what man-made global warming. Ask him what happened in the 70s when it was ice age, then it became global warming, then it became climate change, and why Al Gore and John Kerry, the two people tasked with spreading the gospel, are the richest motherfuckers on the planet. Stop it. Did the little lady get you a present for your birthday? Yes, she did. She actually got me something that I knew I was going to need. She got me these Beats earbuds. I go to the gym and I have to hear all these fucking idiots talk about their bullshit. And she was nice enough to get me earbuds. She got me dinner. And she baked a brother a cake from scratch. Take that, Elon Musk. Take that, Elon Musk. Where is Take That, Elon Musk?
Take that, Elon Musk.
How does the 10R80 sound going down the track? Okay. One version is SEMA approved. Exactly. Happy belated birthday. Hope you had a great day. Look, it was great. I worked on the car. Ate some good food. Look, I am not a party animal. I'm not one of those guys that goes out there and does super dumb shit. I'm one of those super low-key guys that generally wants to be left alone. I want to fuck with my cars, and I'm good. I'm working on a video with the Corvette to show you what happens when you choose the wrong spark plugs. Yes, I had someone reach out to me yesterday on email. Gave me a whole bunch of good information, helped out, said, hey, you're not that far off, and I really like what you're doing with the Corvette progression videos, because it's going to show somebody, whoever wants to, because eventually they'll come down to $50,000 or $40,000 years from now. They're going to be readily available. There's like 4,000 of them or so that have been built, I think. And I think you're going to see a lot of people reference my videos and go, thank God this guy went through the whole process and showed me what to do. Now, I know for a fact that the BR7EFs are too cold for the Corvette. It needs to have 4177s or 4711s, whatever the hell they're called, NGK copper. Gap them at about 32 because 13 pounds of boost, 91 compression. 28 might be a little tight. I don't know. We'll see. But he gave me some great pointers. Told me about some torque reduction stuff in the tune, and I really appreciate that. And I'm going to work on that video just showing you what I didn't show you in the last video. And it's data log heavy, data heavy, and I got a wideband. And I don't think I'm going to be able to install it because I can't find an exhaust shop to install it quickly to get a bung in there. So hell, I might buy a fucking welder and do it myself. Who knows? Cake built, not bought. Exactly. That's a lady. For a Gen 1 motor, after rods and pistons, wouldn't the heads and sleeves be next up to 900 plus? Sure. Yeah, I think so. My birthday was yesterday as well. Happy belated. Desmond, happy birthday to you too. Now that's a lady. But did you get the scratch? What's that mean? Checking in. See how it's going. Bicho, David Godinez. Today's cake isn't yesterday's cake. Welcome to the 45 club, bro. Yeah, but this 45 looks really good. No, you got to admit, this 45 looks really fucking good. Did you eat cake twice? Hey, yo, did you do a John Force burnout for your birthday? How much does space travel emit? And that's the other thing. There's a lot of weird looking the other way for the greater good type situation. Like, shout out to SpaceX and all those guys. They did 60 launches of Falcon rockets last year. We're not counting United Launch Alliance, ULA. We're not counting anything that happens in Vandenberg. We're not counting anything that happens with NASA itself. I'm talking about just SpaceX. Now, I am a huge space guy. I love that. But 300 ships emit this much. So you got to turn your face the other way. And for the greater good, let it fly. And I'm like, I guess, God, some guys just want to come home after a long day of work and just fucking turn their car on and go for a fucking cruise and be left alone. We want to be left alone. We like a little noise. We're not out there doing hoon and shit. We're not out there with the Hellcats and Trackhawks doing dumb shit, sliding on 95. We're not about that shit. We just want to be left alone. But they lump us in with the people that do sideshows and stuff and say it's racing. You're all the same. No. So if you're going to lump us in, me, a guy that just does some watt pulls on side streets in Mexico, with the Hellcats and Trackhawks that do sideshows, why can't I lump in emissions from cruise ships and airplanes with SpaceX and general space-faring vehicles with pollution also? But Alex, that's for the greater good. I understand that. But you can't be hypocritical about shit. Happy belated, says Dre Day. Thank you very much. Someone said that they were too cold in the comments. Same guy. Be sure to use sticks welding on that bung. Right. Yes. Same. They were too cold. And I don't know if it's the same guy, but according to him, the spark plugs can cold foul. And after looking at the tip, hey, yo, I have 22 degrees in it and the fucking strap is at the end. It's not even halfway down, nothing. So I'm like, yeah, this might be too cold of a plug. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the plugs he recommended, gap them to what they should be. But I'm going to put the wideband on it. And I want to make sure I'm not running out of injector. I have a feeling I am running out of injector. And according to the data log, injector duty cycle was 80-90 at 6,300 RPMs. I'll show you that data log in a video. It'll be a data log heavy video explaining things, not necessarily me doing polls. So hopefully you guys get a good idea as to where I head next with the ZR1. Injectors, wideband, plugs are next for the ZR1. Neil Turio says, my 45 feels like a 30. Treat the body right. This one looks good too. Get a clamp on bung. All you do is drill a hole in the exhaust and 2 clamps. But the problem is you got to find the right clamp. You know what I mean? I know what you're talking about. The clamp on no weld bung. No offense. That's like the last resort. But I might do that. We'll see. Because I got to get the right size pipe. Like it has to be the exact size. If it's wrong, I got to like make it up with shims and stuff. And then it's chintzy. You know what I mean? This ZR1, I am treating well. I'm trying not to buy junk parts for it. I'm trying not to make it half-assed. I bought a good exhaust. I'm going to buy good headers. I'll weld the bung on the pipe somewhere. I'll talk to Hutch. Maybe Hutch can do it. Did you hear about the Gran Turismo movie that's going to come out? Nope, don't care. EPA bangs in Amazon position. That's a lucky man, Monty Rogers. Datalog heavy is my jam. Exactly. Fuck that no weld shit. Exactly. I know what he's talking about. The no weld O2 bung is basically a exhaust clamp. That's a band clamp that has an O2 thread in it. You put it on, drill it. To me, that's jank shit. To me, that's whack shit. I'd rather weld it, secure it on there, and live a happy life. Definitely out of injector with 90% duty cycle. Yeah, absolutely. I need a 1300s. I'm looking to get ID 1300s. Now, people say, why not FICs? Why not this, why not that? Look, ever since I installed ID 1050Xs on my white car, startups are crisp. Like, I'm going to take a video of cold starts. A lot of people out there, especially on Gen 3 Mustangs, complain about the startup. It's cold start. Oh my God. Oh my God. I have a ESS G3X with a 115 millimeter pulley, 795 horsepower with Sunoco 260 GT. Okay. It is a 14-1 or 14-0 stoic fuel. Startups are so crispy. It's not even funny. Wow. Really nice. And the only difference between that startup and the other startup is the physical injector. So I thought to myself, well, let me go ahead and get ID 1300 for the Corvette. Because one of the things I wanted that Corvette to do is drive well. Not to say anything negative about FIC. I love FIC. They're great. They make good power. It's all good. But I did notice a very distinct startup difference with the 1050Xs on my particular vehicle than with another brand injector. Exhaust Leak City, exactly. If you buy a welder, get the cheap 150M Harbor Freight. Yes, according to Jake, that's the best one. He says, get the 140 MIG or 150 MIG. He goes, I'm telling you, Alex, that's all you need. Get the one that does both flux and gas, and you're good to go. I said, yes, sir. It's like $400. I'm not going to weld it. Stop it, douche did it. I'm not going to do a band clamp on a ZR1. I'm not going to do that. Duffy out of injector, 90% duty cycle. Crank your fuel pressure. I'm not going to crank my fuel pressure. Why would I crank my fuel pressure? Why don't I just get a bigger injector? Crank your fuel pressure. It's already cranked up. It's way over 90%. Like, I'm not going to crank my fuel pressure. I know that's like a way of fixing it, but I don't want to do that. I'll just get a bigger injector. All of your cars are too nice and well built for that turvy stuff. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do any junk stuff. No offense. I'm not going to do any junk stuff. To the ZR1 or the white car, every single car that I got is pretty freaking clean, right? It's not bad. So I just don't want to do turvy shit to it, and I get it. I only brought it up because you can't weld or don't have a welder, so just an idea. You got to start somewhere. Yeah, no. You take it to a professional. If I can't weld it, I'll take it to a professional that can weld. I'm not going to just do band clap shit. No offense. Budget system time, right, exactly. Like Corvette guys, now listen to this, guys. Corvette guys, ZR1 guys specifically, they have this thing called an auxiliary pump on a ZR1. Listen to this. They drill and tap for a line to have an external pump so they can run E85. Now, does it work? Sure. Is it dumb poor boy Chevy shit? Absolutely. I'll just buy a Four Innovations fuel system. You don't have to do that. The auxiliary pump is fine. That's fine. If you live in a single wide, it's all good. I am not drilling a hole in my tank and putting an external T-Rex pump on my shit. Like if it's a Fox body. I'm going to go ahead and get a Four Innovations fuel system because I can swing it. It's all good. Get a shop to weld the Z01. Don't practice on that car. Use the Mustang for that. Exactly. Doesn't the 90 make a 1400cc injector? Now that I'm thinking FIC. No, FIC makes 1440s. Okay, FIC injectors go as follows, and these are the ones we support. FIC 1000H, 1200s. They tune kind of funky, but once you get it, you get it. 1440s, 1650s, and I think 2150s. In my opinion, I think there's 2150s. We tune all of those. So many turvy suggestions. Yeah, it was kind of odd. Boss 302 intake on a Gen 2 Coyote pointless. It's as good as an 18 manifold in my opinion. Hey Alex, I might be late about this, but did you hear about the electric Indy autonomous race cars and your thoughts? No, I did not, Ray, so I'll have to do a little research. Today I wanted to give you guys EPA hypocrisy silliness with math, facts, and percentages, because god damn it, it doesn't make any sense what they're doing. If you do weld it, don't do what I did and wear short sleeves. Give me a good sunburn. Never. My father taught me better than that. He would weld all the time. 01 deserves the best. It made 696. Okay. Yep, my dad welds for a living and need that Harbor Freight welder for something in a pinch. He was surprised at how nice it performed. Well, you did do the wheel spacers. I know it was for a quick content. Absolutely. I got to get the right... So, Matt, what I'm going to have to do with that is bring the shocks inboard to get the springs out of the way, or at least the springs, or get conventional springs, right? Get conventional Ford racing springs. But I do like to have adjustability. So getting a set of inboard spring purchase for the coilovers, just like I did on the Fairmont, that's the game plan. And then take the spacers off and see how much of the inside tub I have to beat in to clearance the wheels. The DSX6 pump, went forward with Four Innovations also, exactly. Bro, you need to stance out the Corvette. Time for a drift anime dream to come true. Couches everywhere. Couches touching some walls. Alaberga Tuning became a bitch level member. Thank you very much. You have to drill the gas tank on the C7s for the auxiliary pump. Crazy. Yeah, fuck that. Remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at last find you handy. Car Enthusiast says, I appreciate the teaching videos you put out. In a few of them, you described how to resolve fuel spikes, and based that off of what I had, Mikey had to swap out the O2 sensors. Your advice just solidified what you thought. See, I really appreciate someone like Nestor, Car Enthusiast. I've gotten to the point in tuning where if I say it, people just do it because of the experience. And that's 100% experience. Look, there have been times where I've been totally foot up my ass, don't know what the fuck I'm talking about early on. But the more I experience things on my personal vehicles and try them out. Look, guys, I've blown up engines. I've wiped out blowers. I've blown up transmissions on camera. I've done it all. And at least that gives me credibility in case you come across a similar issue. So he had an issue with spiking fuel. I said, well, either you have low fuel or you have O2 issues. Luckily, he changed his O2s and fueling came back. Appreciate that, brother. Does the Z01 have a computer-controlled fuel pump? Yes. Check the tune and make sure it's commanding 480 kPa. It is. All the time. Also, that DSX auxiliary pump is dumb. No drilling the fuel tank to cause a fuel leak. I agree. Headers bring extra bung for the wideband. Nice, Rami. Rami, let me know what's going on with them headers, Papa. Let me know how much they're going to be, too. We did the auxiliary pump on our Grand Sport. Now it's gone, and we did 525s for everything. Exactly. I understand the auxiliary pump is highly desirable because it's a cheap way to go. In my opinion, a ZR1, I don't think you should. A Fox body, it's all good. Fox body is all good. But a really nice car like a ZR1, CTS V3, C7, I think you should give it the good shit. That's like a 200-pound injector. That's a lot of fuel. I might end up doing 1050s for primaries on 2150s for the secondary. I can't talk to him. He has a fucking Crown Vic with a fucking 2-valve. You are a trusted voice for so many of the many people that follow bad advice. They can't even be found on your channel. Pecker in the house. Exactly. He's talking about 2150s on a fucking 2-valve. Mr. Pro Mod himself. Stock T56 from a Cobra should hold up to the Coyote power? No. The stock T56, I think, has a 10 spline input shaft. Correct me if I'm wrong, second shift racing. You're going to need an input shaft upgrade and RPM. Cobra guys don't generally shift above 6,500 RPM. And I think the synchros don't like RPM. I think good high RPM transmissions are MT82s and T56s with a Viper spec situation. Even Viper spec ones, Vipers don't rev much more over what, 6,500 RPMs, 6,700 RPMs. Coyotes can go to 7,800, 7,900, 8,000, no problem. So I wouldn't really stuff a Cobra spec T56 stock unless it has really built up stuff to handle the RPM and a input shaft upgrade. G about the electric Ram truck? No. It's a Trinity motor, Alex. Remember? Exactly. Cough, early 4-valve cough. Stop it. He's talking about 2150s for meth. Please shut up. Please, 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 please shut up. All right, guys. YDBT dailies are only 1 hour long to keep things nice and tight. I appreciate it. Today we talked a lot about EPA hitting up a 0.05% industry in the grand scheme of things of pollution. And they're doing it for optics because it's the low hanging fruit. No update on the blue car trans because I got to pay for it. I already talked to Ben Calamer. I got to pay for it. It is big money. Guys, a motor refresh, what do you think that's going to cost on a Trinity motor? Like an 11 or 12 or 1300 horsepower motor and a trans that can hold up to that kind of abuse. Think about how much money that costs. I got to be able to afford it. So that's why I'm doing shows. That's why I'm out there trying to get as much content out as possible to be able to afford it. It'll be a couple of months before it's all said and done, but hopefully Ben Calamer doesn't sell that transmission out from under me. I might have to send him a deposit or something so he can keep it. Actually, you know what? Right after the show, I'm going to hit him up and say, hey, do you want a deposit for that trans? Just so it doesn't go nowhere because I want it, and then we should be good to go. I'm out of here, so I'll be back on Sunday, 9:30 a.m. for peasant chat, so we can talk poor people and more Admiral Peck bullshit, saying he's going to put 2150s in an early 4-valve motor that makes 280 horsepower. Unbelievable that he actually thinks that matters. And then I'll try to get you guys a video on the C7 Corvette that is data heavy. Sorry, C6 Corvette ZR1 that is data heavy and showing what I need to do to fix an issue. But before that, I'm going to put some plugs in it and re-data log it to make sure everything is kosher. I'll try to get you guys on that video probably in the weekend somewhere. I got a lot going on this weekend that's not work related, so I'm going to try to get you guys content. If not, we'll talk about it on Sunday. All right, guys, have a good rest of your night. I'll see you guys Sunday morning. Talk to the peasants. It's going to be a paid chat, so if you guys want to be noticed, paid chat's always open, and we'll reconvene then. Have a good rest of your week and early weekend, and I'll see you guys bright and early Sunday morning. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.